Hello, my lovelies. It is time for round 29 of Have I Read It? So stay tuned. Hello, welcome, and welcome back for those returning. If you're new here, I will link a playlist up above where you can watch all of the past Have I Read It's and the evolution of how this game goes. But to make it short and sweet, I react to a haul that was over 3 years ago, and I tell you what I read, what I haven't read, and what I've unhauled. And you get to vote out of the ones that I haven't read, which one will go onto my TBR. And however many books are in my that I haven't read stack will determine how many books I have to select from your votes. Okay, I've got the video pulled up here. Let's just jump right in. Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. So today I have part 2 of my April book outlet haul. So stay tuned. Okay, so you may have already seen part 1 of my book outlet haul that I posted last week. And I did the first 2 boxes out of the 4 boxes. So today I'm doing the last 2 boxes. So here I go with box number 3 out of 4. Woohoo! Got another $5 coupon. Yay. Love those things. And my receipt. Okay. I know which one this is. And we got the paper. The paper. The paper. And the first book that's in here is actually not for me. It's for Xander. And that is The Extraordinary Truth About Space. And it says Taking Space to the Next Dimension. So there's like 3D glasses, I guess. Yep. And some 3D pictures in here. Okay, so that is one that I gave to Xander. So I'm marking that as unhauled. Though I think he's actually unhauled that one as well. So next up. And the next book in here is also not for me. Okay, most of these books in here are for me, but this one's not. This one is actually for Becca, and it is Adulting, How to Become a Grown-Up in 468 Easy-ish Steps by Kelly Williams Brown. And again, that is one that was not for me. It's one I unhauled. I gave it to Becca. I don't know if she ever read it or not, but yeah. So I think maybe the rest of these books in this box are for me. Oh, and if you didn't see it, this is part 2 of a really big book outlet haul. Part 1 was the last Have I Read It and that I did. And it didn't go as bad as I thought. So hopefully this one's not too bad either. All right, continuing on. Okay, so the next 3 books in my box are a trilogy. So we have Pure by Juliana Baggett. I have read Pure. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I just said I got the trilogy, and I did. And I've read that entire trilogy. I had read it actually before I ever bought it. I read it a long time ago and loved it. So, yay, read. Fuse, read Fuse, which is book 2. And then Burn, read Burn. Okay, so the next book in my box is Famous Last Words by Jennifer Salvato Doktorsky. Okay, I do not think that I have read this, so let me double check. Okay, no, I have not read it, so let me go find that one. Okay, this says 16-year-old Samantha D'Angelo has death on the brain. It's not that she's morbid, okay, maybe a little. It's that her summer internship at the local newspaper has her writing obituaries instead of soaking up sun at the beach. Between Shelby, Sam's boy-obsessed best friend, her boss Harry, a true blue newspaper man, and AJ, her fellow intern scum, aka the scruffy drummer for a band called Love Gas, Sam has her hands full. But when she finally figures out what or who is the best part of her summer, will she mess it all up? So if you want me to read this, vote Famous Last Words. All right, let me get back to the video here. All right, next up. So the next book in my box is Dream On by Kirsten Geyer. Okay, that's Kirsten Geyer. And no, I have not read it. So let me check, because I know this is part of, I believe, a trilogy. So I need to see if that's the first book or not. Okay, that is not the first book. So let me go grab the first one. Okay, the first book is Dream a Little Dream. This is the Silver Trilogy. This is a book that's been translated from, I believe, German. Let's see, this says, mysterious doors with lizard head knobs, talking stone statues, a crazy girl with a hatchet. Yes, Liv's dreams have been pretty weird lately, especially the one where she's in a graveyard at night watching 4 boys conduct dark magic rituals. The strangest part is that Liv recognizes the boys in her dream. They're classmates from her new school in London, the school where she's starting over because her mom has moved them to a new country again. But what's really scaring Liv is that the dream boys seem to know things about her in real life, things they couldn't possibly know unless they actually are in her dreams. Luckily, Liv never could resist a good mystery, and all 4 of those boys are pretty cute. Okay, so if you want me to read this, vote Dream a Little Dream. All right, let's see what we have next. Okay, the next book is another book that was not for me. It's for Xander, and that is Secret Coders, Get With the Program by Jean Luen Yang and Mike Holmes. Again, I've unhauled that. I gave it to Xander, and I think he also unhauled that at this point. Next. So the next book in my box is The Lovely Reckless by Cami Garcia, and it says meet your next book boyfriend right here. I can't remember. I don't think I've read that. Let me double check. Okay. I also have this one signed and personalized. This says, 17-year-old Frankie Devereaux would do anything to forget the past. Haunted by the memory of her boyfriend's death, she lives her life by one dangerous rule: nothing matters. At least that's what Frankie tells herself after a reckless mistake forces her to leave her privileged life in the Heights to move in with her dad, an undercover cop. She transfers to public school in the Downs, where fistfights in the halls don't faze anyone and illegal street racing is more popular than football. Marco Leon is the fastest street racer in the Downs. Tough, sexy, and hypnotic, he makes it impossible for Frankie to ignore him, and how he makes her feel. But the risk Marco takes for his family could have devastating consequences for them both. When Frankie discovers his secret, she has to make a choice. Will she let the pain of the past determine her future, or will she risk what little she has left to follow her heart? So if you want me to read this, vote The Lovely Reckless. All right, let me get back to the video here. Okay, next up. Sorry if there's an angle change, my battery died, so. Okay, the last book in this box is another book by Cami Garcia, and that is Unbreakable, and it is book 1 of the Legion series. Okay, I unhauled that one. I want to say, let me double check. I think that that was a series that I found out never got a conclusion. Yeah, I read the first book, and before I read the second book, I realized that the third book had no information. The second book came out in 2014, and it looks like the third book was supposed to come out in 2017, and nothing ever came from it. And so I unhauled the first 2 books because I didn't want to read the second book since there was no way I could finish it. So yeah, that's been unhauled. And I said that was the last book in that box, but there is another box for us to go through. We're not even halfway through this video yet, so continuing on. Okay, now on to the last box. Okay, got my receipt here. Okay, so the first book in this box is Percy Jackson and the Olympians The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. I have read The Lightning Thief. I've read all of the Percy Jackson books. Yay, okay. Next. So the next book, in one of our book outlet boxes, I think it was February's box, there was a book called, it was an extra book, and it was like the Yeti Files, and it was book 1. And Xander loved it so much, he wanted me to get more. And at the time I ordered this, the only other one that was available was book 3. So I got that, and it's the Yeti Files, Attack of the Kraken by Kevin Sherry. As I said, that's for Xander. I unhauled it to him, and I think he's also since unhauled it. So next. Okay, the next book in my box is Violent Ends, a novel in 17 points of view, and this is by 17 authors, I do believe. So, all of them. Okay, I have not read Violent Ends, so let me grab that. Oh, it's on one of these top shelves. I'm gonna have to get my ladder. Okay, here it is. This says, let me see. It only took 22 minutes for Kirby Matheson to exit his car, march onto school grounds, enter the gymnasium, and open fire, killing 6 and injuring 5 others. But this isn't a story about the shooting itself. This isn't about recounting that one unforgettable day. This is about Kirby and how one boy who had friends, enjoyed reading, played saxophone in the band, and had never been in trouble before, became a monster capable of entering his school with a loaded gun and firing on his classmates. Each chapter is told from a different viewpoint, giving insight into who Kirby was and who he'd become. Some are sweet, some are dark, some are seemingly unrelated, about fights or first kisses or late night parties. This is a book of perspectives, with one character and one event drawing them all together, from the minds of some of YA's most recognizable names. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of authors, well, 17 authors. So if you want me to read this, vote Violent Ends. Alright, we are definitely over the halfway point at this point, so not doing too bad. We only have 4 so far. Let's keep going. Okay, let's move on to something else. How about Love and Gelato? Love and Gelato. That is by Jenna Evans Welch, and I have read that one. Next. Okay, the next 2 books, I don't know if this is a duology or a part of a series, but I'm thinking it's a duology. We have Get Well Soon and Have a Nice Day by Julie Halpern. I have not read either of those. Let me see which one's first and I will grab that. Okay, so Get Well Soon is the first book, and this is a duology. This says, Anna Bloom is depressed. So depressed that her parents have committed her to a mental hospital with a bunch of other messed up teens. Here she meets a roommate with a secret and a plastic baby. A doctor who focuses way too much on her weight, and a cute, shy boy who just might like her. But wait, being trapped in a loony bin isn't supposed to be about making friends, losing weight, and having a crush, is it? So that's what this one's about. If you want me to read this, vote Get Well Soon. Alright, next up. Okay, so the next 2 books I have here, I actually got because of Rocky from Blonde in a Book. She talks about these all the time, and I know when I tell her about this video and she watches it, she's gonna be like, oh my gosh, because she gets so excited anytime people say that they've bought this book because of her. But I totally did, because she's like, I follow her on Twitter and Instagram, and she's constantly talking about these books on there. I don't know, I guess you show me something enough times and hype it up enough, I'm going to eventually get it. But it does sound really, really cute, and I'm really interested in reading it. And that is A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallaro. I have read, and I think I've unhauled A Study in Charlotte. Let me look. Yes, I unhauled that. I read, I don't know, most of the books in that series, and they were just okay. I think I gave A Study in Charlotte just 3 stars, or Well, actually I said I gave it 3.75, but I think my rating went down as I went. But I ended up unhauling that whole series. All right, let's see what we have next. And The Last of August by Brittany Cavallaro. I also unhauled The Last of August. Next. The next book in my box is Anna Dressed in Blood by Kendar Blake. I have not read Anna Dressed in Blood, so let me go grab that. All right, here we go. This says, just your average boy meets girl, girl kills people story. Kaz Lowood has inherited an unusual vocation. He kills the dead. So did his father before him until his gruesome murder by a ghost he sought to kill. Now armed with his father's mysterious and deadly fame, Kaz travels the country with his kitchen witch mother and their spirit-sniffing cat. Together they follow legends and local lore, trying to keep up with the murderous dead, keeping pesky things like the future and friends at bay. When they arrive in a new town in search of a ghost the locals call Anna Dressed in Blood, Kaz doesn't expect anything outside of the ordinary: track, hunt, kill. What he finds instead is a girl entangled in curses and rage, a ghost like he's never faced before. She still wears the dress she wore on the day of her brutal murder in 1958. Once white, but now stained red and dripping blood. Since her death, Anna has killed any and every person who has ever dared step into the deserted Victorian she used to call home. And she, for whatever reason, spares his life. So if you want me to read this, vote Anna Dressed in Blood. Okay, we've gotten up to 6 books now. Let's hope there's not too many more added. There's not a lot left in this video. There's only like 6 minutes left, so hopefully not too much more. Next up. And then the last book in this box is Spindle Fire. A kingdom burns, a princess sleeps. This is no fairy tale. And that's by Alexa Hillier. I have not read that one, and oh my goodness, that's the last book. Let me go grab it. I think this one is like a Sleeping Beauty retelling. This says, it all started with the burning of the spindles. No, it all started with a curse. Half-sisters Isabel and Aurora are polar opposites. Isabel is the king's headstrong, illegitimate daughter whose sight was tithed by fairies. Aurora, beautiful and sheltered, was tithed her sense of touch and her voice on the same day. Despite their differences, the sisters have always been extremely close. And then everything changes with a single drop of Aurora's blood and a sleep so deep it cannot be broken. As the fairy queen and her army of vultures prepare to march, Isabel must race to find a prince who can awaken her sister with the kiss of true love and seal their 2 kingdoms in an alliance against the queen. Isabel crosses land and sea, unearthly, thorny vines rise up the palace walls, and whispers of revolt travel in the ashes on the wind. The kingdom falls to ruin under layers of snow. Meanwhile, Aurora wakes up in a strange and enchanted world where a mysterious hunter may be the secret to her escape, or the reason for her to stay. Spindle Fire is a lush fantasy set in a dwindling, deliciously corrupt world of the Fae and featuring 2 truly unforgettable heroines. Oh. Okay, so if you want me to read this, vote Spindle Fire. Okay, so again, we only have 7 books here, so I'll only be taking the #1 voted book, though you can vote for as many books as you like. I will tally up which book gets the most votes, and that's the one I'm going to read. A quick recap, you can vote for Famous Last Words, Dream a Little Dream, The Lovely Reckless, Violent Ends, Get Well Soon, Anna Dressed in Blood, or Spindle Fire. I cannot wait to see what y'all vote for. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you.